Welcome everyone to the next episode of Impactables with Rishav. Today we have Mr. Vishal Khandelwal, Retail Growth Head of Duroflex and Sleepyhead. Welcome Vishal.
Thank you, Rishav. Thanks for inviting me for your podcast.
Thank you so much. Finally, we are speaking and meeting.
Yes, we have been planning for quite some time, and my apologies to cancel a couple of times earlier. Yeah.
No worries. So I'm starting this very interesting journey of yours, being a Marwadi guy from a family based out in Lucknow. How did you ended up getting into Indian Army first before entering into the retail segment? Because it's two different things. I would say three different things.
So see, back in 90s, so there was one TV commercial, yeah, which Indian Army had launched. Do you have it in you?
Okay.
So you can look up. It is 96, 97. You must be very young that time, but that was pretty big. So it inspired a lot of people. Another thing was the school which I went had a tradition of all the backbenchers joining army.
Yeah. Which school it was?
It's in St. Fidelis in Lucknow.
Okay.
So in my class, we are about 7 of us. And same goes with my senior batch and junior batch. So being from Marwadi family, it was my parents were not, or my family, larger family, whether it's my mama, chacha, they were not willing, or they were not convinced that I should join army. But the school where I come from, most of the kids, or most of my classmates were almost diehard fan of joining army, or few came from army families. तो हमने भी ऐसे इंटरव्यू दिया, SSB देने चले गए मस्ती में. I was preparing for my MBAs after graduation. First attempt, I was not very serious also. I just went for fun. And from Lucknow, generally army interview happens SSB happens in 4-5 centers. And Bangalore was one of the centers. And Bangalore those days was like, the place to be. And especially somebody who's from North and Lucknow. So I always thought कि यार SSB करके Bangalore आ जाएगा, सरकारी खर्चे पे Bangalore घूम लेंगे. पर किस्मत खराब थी, आया इलाहाबाद.
बगल में.
हाँ, बगल में. At least I went there. I had no ambition I went there to have fun, but got selected. When I got selected, all my friends were at railway station to pick me up. And then I reached home, told my parents were aware. So my father ने बोला ठीक है बहुत बढ़िया, अभी MBA तैयारी कर लो. Like typical Marwadi family. But या कुछ और जो करना है करो. But I said नहीं, nothing going, क्योंकि अगर नहीं फौज ज्वाइन की सारे जो दोस्त बोलेंगे बनिया हो गया, मारवाड़ी हो गया, फट गई. तो हमने कहा ज्वाइन तो करना है. तो मामा चाचा सब अगेंस्ट थे. मैंने बोला अभी बचपन से वैसे भी रिपोर्ट कार्ड में मैं खुद साइन करता रहा हूँ. आर्मी में कंसेंट फॉर्म होता है, वहाँ भी खुद ही साइन कर लूँगा. फाइनली फैमिली succumbed, joined OTA, which is short service commission. Best part was it was keeping me and family both happy. I could leave after 5 or 6 years.
Okay.
So so I gave first 5-6 years are also where you have more adventure, more you are leading small body of troops into live action. And I joined infantry for same reason, because though there are many branches in army, but infantry is the one which fights.
And which location you were posted?
So when I got commissioned, I was part of Kargil war, but not in Kargil. I was somewhere in Punjab, sitting eyeball to eyeball with Pakistan. Then after that, it was 99, September 99. After that, I was mostly in Northeast. So I've served in Nagaland, Manipur, Assam, West Bengal, Binagudi. So yeah, so majorly out of 6 years, you can say 5 years I was in the thick of the action.
Because this is a very interesting, I would not say interesting, but the more tensed area.
Yeah, I'll say disturbed area or conflict area, but I had one of the best time, and yeah, so no regrets. Those are the best memory of.
What made you change? Because then obviously after 6 years, 99 to 2005,
yes,
you were in the army. Then I think you left, you resigned, right?
No, we are short service commission. You can leave after any time.
You can leave after.
So you can leave after 5 years. That time, now it is changed. The rules are changed. You have to serve for minimum 14 years.
Okay.
So that time minimum contractual service of 5 years, or you can take an extension of 2 years. You can leave after 7 years, or you can go for permanent commission. Yeah, which is 20 years or like beyond. You can.
Got it.
So out of my 250 odd course mate, 50% came out, 50% are still serving. Yeah, so they have completed. We just last year celebrated our silver jubilee. We completed 26 years now of my course passing out. Yeah, so thing was I had joined with the thought that I'll do only for 5 or 6 years to have best of both worlds. I was planning to leave after 5 years, one of my senior officer was in Army headquarters. He told me, so my unit didn't want me to leave. I was doing decently well in my courses, otherwise also what I was doing in Army. He said, look, wait for 1 year. I am Lucknow is starting a course, especially for defense officers who are leaving out with the help of Ministry of Defense and HRD Ministry. So I then continued for 1 more. I took extension, and in that 1 year, I went to IIM Lucknow to do a 6-month residential program, which is now, that was the first course, pilot course. Now most of the IIMs and major MBA school like FMS, few more Narsi Munjis of the world, they are doing it. So almost, I think, every year there are 50-60 at least 1 or 2 batches of 50-60 officers who goes to, like IIM Bangalore does, IIM Ahmedabad does, IIM Lucknow is doing, MDI is doing. So many colleges do, and they help officer like me, or even the senior lot who comes after 20-25 years, make them ready for corporate. Because this is a one sizable workforce which can be groomed and can be, they already have proven themselves. Only thing, then the jargons might be different. I might not work for profitability. My bottom line could be different in Army. And I have to reorient. That this 6-month program help you in reorientation and also get acknowledging with the, I'll say, lingo of the corporate world. But I have enough course mates, and I can vouch. This is a big talent pool which is available. You have people who have proven themselves, disciplined, perseverance, integrity, courageous, trustworthy, and in Army you are like jack of all trade, because I'm a fresh commerce graduate, but I did a mechanical engineering course for 3 months because I was responsible for vehicles in my unit. Likewise, somebody would have done computer technology course, or today your drone courses or satellite imagery. You're not even a technical graduate, but Army would make you do. So once this guy comes, he's ready for anything and everything, because that's what Army teaches you.
Interesting, very interesting story.
Yeah, it is.
And then after the IIM Lucknow part, then you moved to the first job in corporate.
Yes, so through campus placement, I was picked up by Airtel for HR and admin role. Well, generally Fauji's were given HR and security wala danda wala role, and a brand Shopper Stop came for they were coming with a retail model called Hypercity. So it was India's first hypermarket, or one of the biggest stores in India. So we used to call it, because hypermarket is generally considered to be value format. Hypercity used to call them supermarket. So it was 120,000 square feet store in Malad, and it was still in inception stage. So they had come to IIM Lucknow. They recruited 5-6 of us. Because the CEO of Hypercity, he was a South African gentleman. He himself was a ex-South African Air Force pilot. So he knew what a veteran can do. So he hired, and then we all 5-6 of us were part of that project. So and I joined as a marketing manager and because there was no store, so we were placed in Shopper Stop just to understand the nitty-gritty and just reorient ourselves from, say, Fauj and IIM Lucknow to how retail function, because I would not know what SKU is, what price point is, what visual merchandising is. Those were new terms, though in course I would have studied something, but not in detail. So we went there, understood, familiarized with the SOPs, the way. Then I realized, look, because I'm coming from infantry army, where you manage large body of troop. Though I was a captain or major, but I was managing 600-800 troops, and that's my strength. So I asked my reporting manager, can I move from marketing to operations, because that's what I can do better. And that.
So that store is still there, right?
That store is no. So Rahejas sold that brand. They opened around 10-15 store or 20 store. Then they sold it to Big Bazaar. And later Big Bazaar sold that brand to Reliance Smart. So I think the Malad store, which was there, I think it is now converted into Metro Cash and Carry. It is next to Inorbit Mall in Malad. It was one of these stores. I think when we opened back in 2006, first 3 days we had done 1 crore each, which was like a record of those time. 1 crore.
1 crore is too much that time.
And literally we had 12,000 people inside our store.
At a time.
So we had to evening shut down the store, because there's a mezzanine floor and we were worried that mezzanine floor should not come down. So, and me and a few team members, security guard, we were at the door and literally people were pushing, shoving, hitting us, "Meri family andar hai." And we had no marketing, nothing. We just opened the store and the word spread that everything is on discount. There were few discount, but not like, but just because novelty factor, like India.
During that time, this discount factor was a very big thing, na?
Discount will always be a big factor. It will not change. It was there,
but new thing that time.
New thing, obviously, because retail still and food retail was just evolving. Before that, in food, Big Bazaar was there, and few, Spinach. The few brands were there, not very many. And suddenly, these big stores are coming, and people thought that everything at discount, and it was truly, I'll say, it was ahead of its time, and that was one of the reasons it didn't survive, because it was far ahead. Like we had a brand from UK called Waitrose. We were keeping their product, and they, like a small pack of biscuit would 600 rupees those days, because you're importing up something which is in pound and selling to Indian, and suddenly customers say 600 rupees. But yeah, that was there, and that was a great experience, because I was part of writing those processes, and day one we realized that day three half of those SOPs don't work because the kind of crowd we were getting. So it was a good journey, good learning platform, and since then that was my start of career. Then I moved to Aditya Birla Retail, more supermarket. Once again part of founding team. More. So once again part of the founding team. Because my boss from Hypercity had moved there, so that. Now setting up a supermarket in Pune, I was heading Pune region, setting up first 30-40 stores, because we didn't have any model. There were few stores. Reliance also started same time, so there were no processes, there were no SOPs. In fact, us and Reliance were fighting for same properties. So we'll go and negotiate. Evening Reliance team would come, they'll quote anything else, and they'll take their property. Like that was great time. That was. Like that 3 years for, especially the first year, I was going back to academy, learning everything from scratch, rethinking, so it was, that has been from there. I moved on to Marks and Spencer, because after 4 or 5 years of FMCG or food retail, it takes a toll on you, because it is like almost 7 days a week, and I had 30 stores. When I left, it was almost 40-45 odd stores. So 45.
More is still owned by Aditya Birla only?
No, more got sold to, I think, Samara Capital.
Achha, Samara.
Aditya Birla came out of food business. So yeah.
Interesting. So what was difficulty level like? Today also you are setting up stores only. But when you are setting up store in 2005 and now, obviously might be different segments. But what was difficulty level back then and today? It's not about experience, because 20 years we will know everything. But in terms of operation level.
So operational, those days, first of all, the amount of the properties available for retail were very limited. Yeah. So you only had X number of high street in a city. Yeah. And the properties were not designed. Nobody was making 3,000, 4,000 square feet, because everybody would make a, back in 2000s or early 90s, chota gala 300, 400 square feet. To get a 2,000, 3,000 everywhere was difficult. Then customers were not ready to accept, landlords were not willing to accept those terms which like Aditya Birla is investing. Anybody investing, they'll safeguard there. So convince any landlord to sign for was another big challenge. And around same time, a lot of entrant came into, so Reliance were there, Daburs came in, us. So everybody was running behind one property, because your I'll say the demand was more, supply was less. Yeah. So that was one of the biggest thing. And then talent was limited, because at those days BPO was big. So fresh graduate after college would be taken up by BPO. BPO would pay 25, 26,000, whereas supermarket or a retail would not afford that. To get a talent was very difficult. First of all, there was no talent pool, because something new. Then second is convincing parents of employees because working in a store was always looked down upon. Yeah? In our case, we were asking them that you have to even clean or mop the store. That was like a mind shift. Like, so I remember that time Kishore Biyani ji, Future Group, he used to just to make friends, families, slightly more aware what their kids are doing, and also making them proud. He used to call the parents to store just to show what their kids are doing. And then in Diwali they'll paint the employee's house just to show that you're part of bigger family, just to break that look, it's not a dignity of labor is there. It is not something you're doing which is below dignity. You're adding value to someone's life, those kind of things. So these were the major challenges. Slowly market evolved. Data was still very nascent, though everybody talked about data, but we hardly had any, it was, I'll say, it was not even nascent. We are far behind. So it has been since then, if I cut today things have evolved. So you have, sizable property banks, talent pool has grown. So, today if I have to, I'll get somebody with 5 year, 10 year, 20 years experience of retail. That time there were handful of people who could come with that retail, or most of people who work from hotel industry or telecom industry. Those were the two big industries where we could get. Today retail has its own, supply chain as far concerned. Second is supply chain, because those days supply chain are hardly non-existent. I'm not saying that we have come, too far, but still we are far better than what we were in back in early 2000s.
Interesting. So, but in terms of shopping experience, like back then everything was offline only. Kirana stores, then this supermarket came. People used to, when I was also in school actually, we used to go to Big Bazaar and purchase something, and we used to see that discounts, etc. It was always an attractive point. Today also I see DMart is there. People still go to DMart because again you get a better rates as compared to anything. But in terms of overall shopping experiences, what you have seen evolving as a customer, like who goes today also to stores, who shops online, and how the distribution happened over these 20 years?
So I'll say your father would still go to a store.
You
will go when it's needed. Yeah. So something like today, quick commerce is all solved for your even now. So like if you want something now, it will be delivered. So earlier it was I'll go, I can buy online, it will come 3-4 days. If I want something now, I'll go to neighboring store. But today is like neighboring store is when I want to have a tangible feel about the product. So especially in furniture retail, I have to have a touch and feel.
Correct.
So if I'm buying purely for value, I might buy online.
Okay.
But I'm buying slightly above value. Yeah. So I want to hold the product, feel the product, sit with it, and also today other importance is social proofing, because whether that product would help in enhancing my social image. Yeah. So you want to go, touch, feel, sit over it, click photos, send to your friend, girlfriend, boyfriend. कि अच्छा लगेगा नहीं लगेगा. So those products you still go. Anything else you can buy online. But my dad, your dad, for everything they'll still prefer to go to a store until unless they are getting somebody said कि कुछ discount चल रहा है Amazon 50%, then also you would have to coax him कि ले लो तभी लेंगे. So there is, I'll say top tier 1 cities or top 23 or 24 cities, people still prefer buying online, but balance India still buys in shop.
But this I have seen alternate also, like what happened that 2015 to 2020, like before the corona opened up again, that time was the time lot of D2C brands came. But suddenly not everyone was making money, majority of them. But what they started doing is they started moving offline. And where the legacy brands started going online also. So there was a shift in 2021, 22, 23 I have seen. And now I see, here is a simple example. In HSR 27th main road, you will see half the stores are of new age brands.
Yeah. So there's a reason behind. There's a saying, Corona was the biggest CTO. Yeah. So legacy brands, like I was involved in Landmark Group back in Middle East, we have certain regions where we didn't have e-com. We said we'll start e-com whenever time comes. Corona started. While sitting at homes, we all activated e-com because that was the only channel. So that helped in pushing the journey which had taken 5 years was completed in
1
weeks,
year, हाँ.
not even year, in weeks. Yeah, the plan was like, I'll tell you from my experience, because I was handling multiple countries for one of the brand, for Landmark. So it was key. This year we'll do this country under you. Next year we'll do this. After that, this. When the Corona started, in 5 weeks we got everything live. Not even 5 weeks. We started with WhatsApp selling. We created catalogs, started sending to customers what you want. Yeah? Then we got Shopify website if our website were not ready, and then later on we connected to our parent website. So that was there. So that time a lot of D2C brand came into picture because there was opportunity.
Correct.
But problem with D2C, online can scale to you can after scale become plateau.
Correct.
You can't grow because India A is about 120 million if I'm not wrong. Yeah. After in 120 million, how many are your cohort, your TG? If you or who are online, who's using mobile phone, if you have to go to next level, you have to come to offline. So offline is, whether it is a beauty brand or fashion or home, you have to come on offline, because beyond a point you'll plateau on only online. For legacy brand, they were missing the customer who were digital natives. Yeah, so they had, for them it was making sense, because I already have a online distribution, offline presence, but I'm not able to reach Rishav, who shops only from his phone. So how do I reach? So they all converted. So if you take example of IKEA worldwide, IKEA was among the last one who evolved into, it was such a big size, but their e-com was pathetic.
But still COVID. I believe IKEA people purchase offline only.
Yeah, offline, because in India we are only, IKEA is available only in 4 cities, or 3 or 4 cities. So and Indians, we still want to first go and see,
correct,
then buy. And going to IKEA is also experience.
Exactly.
It's 2 lakh square feet store with a restaurant also built in. You want to go for that. Yeah, but things globally are changing. So now IKEA also has a decent online presence. So likewise, so not even Indian all legacy brands today are available on online.
But for any new age brand, like anyone who started like 5 to 10 years ago, and they were into online, now they move to offline. So does that impact into the profitability? Because I have heard this, that offline is where the people make money, which I have heard, like D2C brand, someone selling clothes, etc. Clothing brand is the one which goes offline very faster as compared to other categories.
Yes.
So they were selling online, they might be making profit of, say, suppose 5-10% yearly. Now, so I have heard that it helps in increasing profitability, 15-20% is a blended total.
Yes, because somebody picking the t-shirt from your store, then you're delivering it to customers. First
Correct.
Of all, you spend money on selling first to get the customer to your website.
Correct.
To your Amazon page or whatever page. You have to pay money. You have to pay tax to Meta, Google's and Amazons of the world. Then there's a cost of delivery to them. Then there's a big reverse logistic. Because if you sell 5 shirts, 2 will come back. So that all adds to your cost. Whereas, and while you're buying online, you might buy only 1 t-shirt. Yeah. But when you come to store, my staff, they are motivated, they're trained. They can sell you more than 1 t-shirt. Yeah.
And return percentage is also lesser.
Yeah, because you have tried it. Yeah. Once you try it, you liked it, staff said, sir, this is looking awesome on you. So एक social validation भी हो गया. And then he says, sir, why don't you've taken t-shirt, why don't you take these trousers, because you look fantastic in this. And you are sold.
And after that also then, okay, buy 5 get 2 free. That
so
all
those,
things.
Those all offline offers. Those all also helps. But traditionally, whatever data I know, most of the brands, their AOV from offline to online delta is 2x.
Okay.
Or 2.5x. So if you are selling for 1,000 rupees online, on your offline, your AOV or ASP is at 2,500 rupees.
So, but in setting up a store, obviously it takes a lot of money in capex. Like in terms of setting up, say, suppose 3,000 square feet store into any category, whichever you want to explain. Like how much time does it take for a brand owner to recover that money like in the that a capex amount actually?
So once again, your capex investment depend from
Business to business.
business to business. Like in furniture, uh, you know, you can invest about 2,000 to 2,500. You will get a great store because you don't have to have invest in fixtures. Your furniture is the
Correct.
hero. Whereas if you are doing a fashion store or a beauty store, you have to invest heavily on the fixtures.
Okay.
Yeah, and amount of digital you have involved. Like today, every LCD, LED screens are the everywhere, but they cost you. So it depends. So I'll say anywhere fashion stores today are spending from say 1,500 to 3,000 rupees per square feet. Furniture would be from say 1,000 rupees. Like Wakefit, I was doing for 1,000 rupees and to 2,500 rupees. Your ideal payback should be, if you ask me, 18 months to 2.5 years.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you are able to get money, then it makes sense. Otherwise, it will be bleeding.
Interesting. And in terms of like when we go to offline, like from obviously a top tier 1 brand, do they prefer like tier 2 cities first or tier 1 for the deeper penetration? Because so suppose I have seen
So you're asking for the new
older brands, suppose 5 years, but they were known only to the metro cities audience.
So I'll say you have to put your best foot forward.
Okay.
So if I'm a D2C brand into fashion or even home, if they look at the pin code, and I'm sure Bangalore, Hyderabad, Chennai, Pune, NCR would be their biggest pin codes.
Correct.
So you have to analyze the data, figure out which pin code, open the store there, because then you don't have to invest in marketing. Your customer is already there; he's buying, online. Now you have to just tell them, look, we are also in HSR. So that helps. So once you have sizable stores in these tier 1 cities, then your flywheel is already in motion. Yeah. So like I'm from Lucknow or you are from Asansol. So after 10, 15, 20 or 100 store, I can take it to Asansol because there are enough people in HSR or in Bangalore who are from Asansol. And they would call them, there's a new store which has opened up. Have you seen? You say, yes. You say, yeah, I've interacted, I've shopped. It is a great store. So it makes sense to do in tier 1, especially for the D2C brand, which are digital native, to go big in these top 4 or 5 cities. Because if you open tier 3, your rental cost would be lesser, your other incidental cost would be lesser, but the as you said, sales per square foot will be also lesser. Yeah. So that would not move your flywheel the way you want it.
Super interesting. But anything which impacts like in this retail experience, anything which you have seen that in past 20 years, which impacts the overall sale, like for example, a person walked in and there are similar factors. I see the design, I see the staff, I see people attending me, people acknowledging me. So in this whole, to boost up the sales, suppose if 100 people are walking in and 20 people are purchasing, to 20 to 30, to make that 30, have you experienced like what all things to be taken care of in order to boost that numbers?
So see, staff and store ambience play a very important role.
Okay.
Of visual merchandising. First, how I have displayed the product in the store. Yeah. So I can put a t-shirt in front and make it look good. So as soon as you see that mannequin, you think that if I wear, I would look as good as that mannequin looks. Yeah. So visual merchandising plays very important role. Second is the staff knowledge of the product, and third is how effectively he's able to assist you or communicate to you. If you are in a fashion store, does that staff act like a fashion consultant, not a salesman?
Correct.
That is the delta. Yeah. So there's a saying in retail, a good store manager can bring the conversion up by 10%. Because this good store manager would have ensured that staff is engaged, they are trained, and they are acting not just like just a salesman.
And 50-60% of times I see this only.
So wherever good consultants, good staff, like if you go to a home store, I should act like a interior designer to you. I can say, sir, ye 3 cheezein rakho, and your side table would look fantastic when you're clicking a photo for Instagram with this couch and that next teapot next to it with these 3 elements. It will look awesome. You are sold. vis-a-vis I say, sir, ये है, इसका दाम 25,000 है, इसके बगल में 15,000 है, लेना है तो ले लो, नहीं तो Thank you.
So this I realized when you were speaking this now, when I try to purchase say suppose blue jacket and I am wearing black t-shirt, तो वो सामने से आकर बोलता है इसके अंदर व्हाइट पहनो तब पता चलेगा आपको कैसा लग रहा है आपके ऊपर, वरना आप पता ही नहीं कर पाओगे कि आपके ऊपर कैसा लग रहा है ये.
Yes. So when it becomes consultative selling, then it, you know, and for being consultative selling, first is I should know the product. Because I can't just say कि सर ऑरेंज डाल लो, क्योंकि ऑरेंज कभी अच्छा नहीं लगेगा, उस कलर के साथ लग भी सकता है, दैट इज पर्सनल चॉइस. बट आपको उसने बोला कि ब्लू के साथ वाइट लो, सडनली बिकॉज ही वॉज अवेयर और शी वॉज अवेयर कि दिस इज द कॉम्बो विच गोज वेल. So likewise, whenever, you know, there are few good brands who does that, and that is a differentiator. Yeah?
And also one more thing which I noticed, the moment you walk to the store, if people push you towards the product, now then the interest level of person gets very lesser.
Because you want a personal space. You want
in the first 2-3 minutes I need a personal space, but I want that the person is observing me.
Yeah. So the way is you should be acknowledged. Your
Correct.
presence should be acknowledged.
Correct.
And then I leave you with your personal space, and then you walk around. But I should be always in eye contact,
Exactly.
or somewhere whenever customer needs, I'm there.
And then you ask that whether you have different sizes, then you have different colors, etc. All those things.
Yes.
Which I have seen very frequently because I am a person like 90% of my clothes are like I purchase offline only. I don't purchase online. There's two reasons. Number one, obviously, I want to see how it looks. Second, obviously quality, because what I order online and from new brands actually, which I know that is very different, what I see and what it comes, it's always very different for
I
me.
also agree, because photography can make a lot of
Correct.
difference. So, and after few experience you realize ki what is shown is not exactly the product. So slowly people are moving to, that's the reason people are moving to
Exactly.
offline.
And heavy branded, like the premium branded ones, not the newer ones, and mid premium categories I always go and purchase, because that gives more different experience than online.
Obviously, because when you're paying 10,000-15,000 for anything, you want to touch
Like
and feel.
Manyavar, I will never go purchase online.
The value you will buy, like if you're buying a t-shirt for 1,500 rupees, you don't mind.
Correct.
You will go order. But if you're buying a Manyavar ka, you know, for शादी के लिए किसी चीज़ के लिए, then you want to feel it.
Correct.
You want to have a fit आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है, because they also have alteration service, because every body is different. So you want कि वो alter कर दे, उसका हाथ छोटा कर दे या कुछ मतलब size fit कर दे. No, that you know, magic only happens in the store.
As of today, like, do you think like anything which is lacking in India, like for example in like outside the IKEA model, people just buy themselves, then they build themselves, and everything is self over there, and people are not minding it, doing it. Some of the people who are known. Do you think in India as a overall retail market, when shopping experience for customers can improve to certain bit to gain more users or more people driving?
No, so that's a very cultural context, because see, back in Europe or say in Western world, manpower is costly, labor is costly. So if IKEA puts 2 more people there, it's the cost added on to you only.
Correct.
So their customer doesn't mind. Yeah. Whereas Indians, we are very demanding customers. Yeah, because we want to pay. You know, we are value minded. So I'll pay exactly what I need to pay for the product, but I want to be felt like a, you know, royalty.
Correct.
Yeah. So that's the reason IKEA model in India also they are tweaking the model. Yeah. Because across the world DIY is big thing. You buy something from IKEA, IKEA doesn't do, you know, installation. Yeah? So you buy it, or it's a paid installation. So you buy it, and you have to assemble yourself. Because
Correct.
it is designed such a way, everything is there, from the, you know, nut bolts, how to make. There is a line drawing, very simple. Otherwise there are hundreds of YouTube videos. But we in Indian are lazy, and I can always get a Ramu who can do for X amount of money. So that's the reason, you know, model like IKEA are very difficult. Slowly people would get there. So bigger towns, yeah, you see self checkouts. So like a lot of IKEA does self checkouts in India. I think Zara is doing, Decathlon is trying to do. So there are people doing, but like as a customer, I should go and hand it over to cashier. Cashier would scan everything, put in a bag, tell me how much I have to pay. I'll give my card, cash, UPI, and move out. But in Western world, it is different, because there would be 2 people who are managing entire store. Yeah. So even if you go to 5-star hotels in Europe, entire morning breakfast service would be done by 3 or 4 people. Whereas in India, you go to any 3-star, 4-star, 5-star, you'll see hundred of
Hundred
people.
people are there.
Hundred of people are there because that's what we want.
Interesting.
It's
In
very
this whole 20 years, like any brand which you saw that they are doing very amazing in retail, and you always wanted to adapt something from them in terms of their operations or their how they have grown over the years. Any use case which you have found very interesting in these 20 years?
So in there are many brands. So because I'm from, I've worked for Landmark for almost 10-11 years. So I have seen their journey from where it was in 2010 till 20, how they have evolved, how they have, because Middle East as a market had changed. Till 2010, the money was reeling in. 2012, there was Arab Spring happened, petrol price crash happened. Things have changed. So earlier, a customer would not mind to pay. The local customers would not, because everything was funded by the local government just to keep. Yeah, so people were paying for anything. 2012-14, the governments didn't have money, so now they were not doling out free cash to their. So now the brands have to evolve because customer doesn't have money. Now you have to milk that customer more. So the data started to come in, the customer service factor started to come in, the staff training started coming. So I think Landmark is doing some phenomenal work in Middle East. India, I can't say so much because I have very limited understanding how they work. In Indian new age brand, I think one of the good brands I see is Lenskart. So the way they run the entire operation is commendable. They've done some great work. So I copy a lot of things from them. Yeah. So how to use digital in the store, the entire journey. If you have been to Lenskart store, so it's very, very smooth, very I say clutter free and frictionless. Even their staff trainings or the interaction in the store, post survey, post purchase, pre-purchase. So I think they are doing some phenomenal, and they're a phenomenal job. And there are other few retailers, who are doing, I think, good work. Is I think Mokobara is doing.
Mokobara has very limited stores as of now.
Limited store, but they're controlling the environment within the store, I think, very effectively. These are the two D2C brand I can think of. Then I think these are good enough. Yeah.
And then,
but I don't want to take a few more names.
But in the retail, which has in the legacy business, so I used to always look up to this Big Bazaar. It was one of the amazing one, but from the time it got acquired, it just disappeared as a whole.
No, yeah, that was strategy.
It was Reliance Smart is there, but Big Bazaar was a feeling actually. For anyone, people used to say कि कहाँ जा रहा Big Bazaar. भले वो दूसरे सुपरमार्केट जा रहा है, but उसके मुंह से Big Bazaar निकलता था. So that feeling was there. But in terms of brand recall, what Big Bazaar created, do you see like any other brand in India which created good brand recall?
So, see, because Big Bazaar was also first mover, so it had that surf wala thing. When you buy any detergent, surf was a detergent powder. You could buy any, but it was called surf. So that was same for Big Bazaar also. I think D-Mart is doing some good job.
Correct.
So D-Mart, wherever they are, there's an ecosystem